Don't go down that rabbit hole on the internet, the shaker cup, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories around it.
Hakuna Matata?
Yeah, because it was a certain radio station that would play it at a specific time, and it woke me up like once or twice that way, and then I was like, this is a great way to wake up. I'm going to wake up this way every time.
Have you ever had to apply relentless determination and humility to overcome like an injury or an addiction or anything of that sort?
Will you entertain sprinting with me if we don't know how far we're sprinting?
Don't play too much Rocket League though, okay, man?
Okay, yeah, I'll try. I gotta get to work.
Like when you're cooking for yourself, do you cook like a healthy meal for just yourself or your whole family?
I'm not gonna go home and cook myself a Piedmontese steak and then give my daughter a frozen pizza. You know, like she would
Here's some Cheerios.
Yeah.
Just want to say, love the message that you guys are getting out there all the time. Helping a lot of people out. Yeah, you guys actually got me back into running.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the call.
Ooh, you sound great.
Yeah.
Want to do some voiceover work for us?
Can you just give us some numbers so we know what kind of like your...
Yeah, sure. I mean, I started out at 330, 340. I got all the way down to 230.
Congratulations.
And then I'm back up to 380 right now.
It's good to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I fucking suck. I sucked at that. But then that's the end of it. And then you say, I'm going to address it.
Mark, I saw you one time at Saying Strength, and I was so intimidated. And now after watching listening to your podcast and stuff, it's funny, you seem so much more approachable.
Oh yeah, you got to come say hello. Maybe I had a resting bitch face going on.
You had chains on doing lunges.
Man, thanks so much for giving us this opportunity just to chat.
It tells you that strength is never a weakness, which I've been saying for a long time. So all they needed to do is listen to me on the Power Project here, and they could have got that information a lot faster.
Power Project family, I hope you guys are doing well today. I want to give you guys a quick piece of fitness equipment lifting history. The hip circle that you see before you is actually the first hip circle ever. All right, there were no booty bands before the hip circle, which is pretty interesting. That's why you see it in gyms like The Rock. We've seen Kim K using it on Instagram. It is the OG, but that's also why we have the slingshots, gangster wraps, knee sleeves, elbow sleeves, everything that you're going to need in the gym so that you can protect yourself before you wreck yourself. So, Andrew, you tell the people how to get it.
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com, and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
Okay. Well, bam. All right. So now the entire world of Discord can hear us, guys. So don't say anything silly anymore.
I'm jealous of all the concoctions that Nsima makes on the show. So I'm going to make a concoction of my own over here. I got some. This is the Way vanilla protein. I got some nitro cold brew from Caveman Coffee.
Do you want to mix any Zoa in there?
That doesn't sound like a good
little
idea.
passion fruit tang.
Oh, that would be weird.
Nice little topper, though. I think
Dumping
that
it
could
in.
work.
Hopefully we got room. And I'm going to throw some salted caramel electrolytes, and this is going to be a banger.
I'm jealous now.
Dude, how bad is it when you set, this is going to happen to me now probably, when you set everything up, you're like, I got everything, good, you're all good to go, and then your shaker cup fucking explodes all over
Fuck
the place.
that. I hate shaker cups.
How mad?
Obviously.
I don't care how much stoicism you practice.
No.
You're going to be pissed.
Is this supposed to be an ad for like Slingshot mason jars?
Maybe.
I mean, I have not had
Try the new Slingshot mason jar. It'll blow your mind. It won't leak.
I have not had a mason jar blow up on me the way I've had shaker cups.
Same.
Dude, I've literally had the fucking bottom of a shaker cup pop out as I'm shaking it because I had ice in it.
Bottom?
The bottom, the whole bottom.
That must have been
exploded.
a really bad shaker cup because the bottom, like
the
you're talking about not.
I mean, this was, I don't know, over like 10 years ago at this point. So like it was like early shaker cup days.
Oh,
early shaker cup technology.
That's a thing. It was a cheap ass one from GNC.
Don't go down that rabbit hole on the internet, the shaker cup, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories around it.
Oh,
wait, seriously?
You'd guys be shocked.
No,
That's
I've
actually
gone
something to
down
look up
many
after.
rabbit holes. Lots of holes.
That actually would be great if it was like some big conspiracy. I don't know, to do what? To make sure you don't get enough amino acids for the day or something.
Oh, because that's why they keep exploding. Got it.
Dude, I love your Lion King shirt.
Thank you.
You were talking about waking up the same time every day.
Yeah.
My alarm a long time ago would go off at like this like arbitrary like 5:23 or 6:23 every single morning, and it would play that song.
Hakuna Matata?
Yeah, because it was a certain like radio station that would play it at a specific time, and it woke me up like once or twice that way. And then I was like, this is a great way to wake up. I'm going to wake up this way every time.
That's a really jolly way. Hakuna Matata. Like, that's so. I got to do that.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And that was at the time that I met Andy, and like she started like sleeping over my place and stuff like that. And she's like, what in the fuck is going on?
What am I getting into?
I was like, I like to start my day off, on the right foot.
Dude, no, that's perfect. That is actually the perfect way to start your day because it's a wonderful phrase.
It started right in that, like right in the main part of the song when it's just going nuts. So it was perfect.
That's awesome. All right,
get you out of bed.
So we got a lot of people with their hands raised up.
Is Brad in there?
Brad, I don't see him quite yet.
Josh.
How about Elon? Elon, the owner of Twitter, is he in there?
Dude, I can't believe about Twitter. That's amazing.
Did he buy it?
He got it.
He fucking bought it.
Elon got Twitter.
43
billion.
It was billion. Yeah, sorry. I'm like
$43 billion.
That's wild. Anyway,
Hey, well, at least he's got that going for him.
Hey, yeah.
That guy still has a lot to prove.
He also fucked Amber Heard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Right.
well, when it comes to chicks, he's got that shit down. That's for sure. He's figured that shit out. But you know what? I think everybody thinks they would love to be that man, but I don't know. Like, it seems like it's a difficult thing to do. And then also, as a kid, unfortunately, he got abused a lot when he was really young. So it's like a lot of these people that we look up to, they paid their dues in ways that I don't know if the rest of us would even ever want to think about,
Yeah. You guys ready for some questions?
I'm ready.
Go.
All right. I'm going to go to my man Zombie Blood because he was here mad early.
Blood.
So, dude.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's a dark name.
No, he's awesome.
Zombies are normally pretty slow for most of the movies, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but some of those movies.
But they keep coming, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the
World
Walking
War
Dead-
Z, where they're just like fucking
they're like
climbing
fast.
up
Yeah,
the
fuck
buildings.
that.
That's
dude.
not
No
good.
thanks.
That's not good.
Not a fan.
No, that's not. Yeah.
Zombie Blood.
I won't watch that one.
Whenever you're ready, dude, what you got for us today, man? Come on. Any minute now. Okay.
Hakuna Matata.
He's not
Just got to
muted
fill in with singing all the
What a
time.
wonderful friend.
every time.
It's like we have some elevator music playing as we wait.
Whenever this question pops up, whenever the guy wakes up or whatever he's doing over there, beating off, we were just messing around with some like lat activation type stuff. And those of you listening to the show, you can give this a try. When you're doing your lat work, maybe try some single arm just to switch things up. And rather than just pulling down and just pulling the elbow down or just pulling the elbow towards you, see if you can get that shoulder to go down and kind of back in a way. So if you were pulling with your left arm, your right shoulder would be coming upward and your left shoulder would be going downward and back. It's just like, it will fry your lats. It works really well.
Absolutely no. It's that'll help you feel your lats a lot more too. So rather than just pulling back and getting that, crunching into it. Same thing with a lot of other movements, like for example, hamstring curls. I think more people should probably mess around with like the depth of.
Yes.
There we go.
Hey now.
Let's go.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why that wasn't working.
What you got, man?
Dude, I cannot believe this. Wow. Mark Bell, what's up?
What's up?
I'm the one that commented on your post a few days ago. I need a video of you yelling at me for gym
awesome.
motivation.
Hey, you got to make this good. So hurry the fuck up.
Please.
Okay, my quick question. In my class the other day, we were talking about how relentless determination and humility is like an unstoppable force, and that the two together are very powerful. So, like, my question for you is that have you ever had to apply relentless determination and humility to overcome like an injury or an addiction or anything of that sort?
You know what? It doesn't start out that way, but it certainly seems that it ends up that way. You start to, put one foot in front of the other. You start to have some habits towards something. And I kind of refer to it as a cascade of disciplines where you are setting forth to do this thing. And I guess in my case, we'll say lose weight from when I was 330 pounds. Nowadays, I'm 230 pounds. And I think the main lesson that I learned in that is just that this is like an ongoing process. And I think that's a really daunting thing for some people to know, that when they start something, like you're going to start down this nutrition path, you're going to start down this fitness path. And hey, by the way, this is a never ending race. We don't know where the end is. Like, imagine, like, will you entertain sprinting with me if we don't know how far we're sprinting? You'll be like, nah, like, cause that's, you know what I mean? But that's a little bit the way fitness sometimes seems, or nutrition kind of seems, but it's actually not necessarily sprinting. It's more like walking. You're going at a good, deliberate pace every single day, allowing yourself the recovery that you need. If we were sprinting every day and we were sprinting really hard every day, we would be in a lot of pain and it would take a lot of time to recover from it. So it's just putting one foot in front of the other every single day, having a cascade of disciplines that kind of surrounds the main goal and what it is you're after. I think a big mistake that some folks make is they don't really think a lot about their goal and what that goal means to them. Oh, I want to have 100,000 followers on Instagram, or I want to make $100,000. Think to yourself, what's the reason for that? I would really love to make this amount of money because I think it will help make my family more comfortable. I really love my children. I love my wife. I would love to be able to hire a cleaning service once a week or every other week so my wife doesn't have to clean up as much stuff. Then you start thinking about those kinds of things, and it actually makes going for like your morning walk, your morning run, and hitting your morning workout up way, way easier. So that's kind of how I've done it. How about for you, Nsima?
I'm actually curious. I want to ask you this. Where does the humility part come in? Like when people talk about being humble, when you look at somebody like The Rock, I know it's weird to bring in somebody who has such a big personality, or even yourself, there's a point where you have to show the shit you've done. Mm-hmm. And some people will look at you like, I think we were talking about this yesterday, showing your G-Wagon or showing things as not humble. But at the end of the day, when I look at that, I'm just like, those are the fruits of your labor. Like this is an inspiring thing and a motivating thing. But relentless determination, as he asked, where does the humility part come in? What do you think?
I don't really know. I don't have control over the way other people think of me.
Yeah.
But I do know that I still have to take out the garbage when I go home sometimes. You know, I do know that I still have to be a husband. I still have to be a father. And if it wasn't for those things, I don't know if I would be as grounded because I don't know if I'd have the same level of humility. I just like with everything else I do, I try to do my best. I try to be as positive as I can.
That's your intention.
That's my intention.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my intention. And with my, with doing stuff with my kids or stuff with my dad, it's like I wouldn't necessarily consider any of it to be humble, but it's just part of what a lot of other people need to do to kind of keep their, like I'm not any different, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am different, but I'm not different. I've talked with Andrew about this and we've had great conversation about his wife doesn't love him any less because we have different financial, we're in a different tax bracket. Like it doesn't work that way. That's not his wife loves him tremendously. My wife loves me tremendously. And there's not a competition there. There's not a race there. But I think that people think that they're going to be loved or valued more based on these kind of external things. And there's a saying from Mr. Rogers that I think is really cool where he said, you don't have to do anything special in this world to be loved. And that's a really magnificent quote, especially to a child, because I think they always, hey, Dad, check me out on the diving board. Hey, Mom, watch this. Me and my wife, we joke. We say, look, Mama, because Jake used to say it all the time. Mm-hmm. Look, Mama, like he's jumping off the diving board or whatever he was doing when he's 4 or 5. I think that we're all going through life that way. We all want people to watch us. We all want people to examine us and to give us praise. But there's that other side where there's shaming about being humble to where you can't celebrate. You can't do a touchdown dance. Look at these athletes. They're all overpaid. Look at this guy celebrating he got in the end zone. It's like, that guy might have just made like $50K to like score that touchdown or like for this game, like in football, you only play 16 or 17 games. If you break it down, how much money that guy is, and it's not just the money, but cash rules everything around me. Like the money is important. It allows you to do a lot of other things. So the humility side of things, I don't really try to pretend that I'm trying to be humble in any particular way. I can't control the way that people view me, but I have a lot of things that I'm grounded to that I think automatically keep me somewhat humbled.
This is the last thing I'm going to just piggyback off of that because when you were talking, I realized something that, especially in the social media age, like relentless determination, I think it speaks for itself, but being humble is more so the intention of the individual. If you're showing your G-Wagon or you're showing some things
showing me running too.
You're showing you running, but this is the thing. Like I'm using that as an example because some people, most people will look at that and be like, oh, he's trying to brag about what he's got. But when people see all the things you've done and see, like, that is inspiring. Like you always say, inspire, don't instruct. So your intention is always to inspire people, showing them things, not to say, hey, I got this and you don't, bitch, what's up? That's not it. When you do see some people on social media flashing shit, a lot of the times it's like, look at me, motherfucker, I'm rich, bitch, and you're not. But that's not your intention.
No.
So I think that's the humility aspect. You may be
You
showing
guys
these
know
things.
I like to fuck around a lot too.
Oh yeah. So that humility aspect is there because your intention is always to inspire, as all of our intentions here are to inspire.
Yeah, and more often than not, when they're yelling, "I'm rich, bitch," it's something that's leased or rented.
Yes.
not paid in full. Sorry, Zombie Blood. We'll let you maybe ask a follow-up question, but I had another question. We talk about like the rebound effect, especially when it comes to like a diet loss. Like, oh, I'm going to lose, 10 pounds, whatever, over the next couple of months. They hit that, and then like what happens, right? We rebound, like, because I hit my mark. Now I'm going to go to, whatever, Cheesecake Factory, and I'm going to go nuts, and then you end up rebounding even worse.
Yeah.
But that also happens when you hit certain career markers. Like I want to make, $100,000 a year. Then you make that, and then it's like, all right, I'm going to coast. How do you stop the rebound from like that relentless pursuit? You achieve something. How do you keep going? Like how do you keep striving for more?
Well, our guest yesterday, Jimmy House, bless his little heart.
Big heart. That's a big heart.
Being a young buck, it was just super cute to hear him talk about how he's going to work on his sleep like down the road, and we know like he's going to end up being a nutcase just like me. I was just like sitting there with a smile the whole time, like, oh man, this guy, he's really trapped by himself. And it's amazing the level of performance that guy puts out in so many different realms. But I think it's easy to kind of envision that for yourself, that you're going to do this, and then once you get there, you're going to do this other thing, because you're thinking like, oh man, if I was built like Nsima, then I would just chill. I would just eat pizza. But by the time you get built like somebody, you already have all the habits and characteristics inputted into your body to where you don't really you no longer want to partake in that as much. Still might want to partake in it because it's fun. But you will most likely not. So the rebound happens when you're trying to set time domains on stuff. I think it can be really negatively impactful to say, I'm going to do this by this time. To say that you're going to start to do something by a certain time is not bad. That's just like a deadline. That's not really a huge deal. Hey, I'm going to start jujitsu by the end of this. At the end of this month, I'm going to start jujitsu. I'm going to start yoga. I'm going to start that. Those are healthy conversations. But to say that you're going to be down, 25 pounds at the end of the month or before the summer kicks off is just overly ambitious and maybe not a great place to start, because we know that rebound can happen. Nsima said it really well on one of our podcasts that we did, where we were talking about habits, and he said to kind of set a time frame around your habits rather than setting a time frame on your goal. And I thought that was fucking wonderful. I've never even heard anybody say that before, so I was like, damn, he's coming with that smoke today. That was fucking awesome. And I was like, that's something that I could utilize, because I could say, I would like to do a little bit better job of this. Like, I like to think of things per month, kind of like you guys see me post certain things like, it's no carb April or whatever. It's just for challenge. It's just for fun. I'm not trying to fast track anything in 1 month, not trying to get these results, even like Stronger in 30 Days, a program that we wrote a long time ago. It's not saying like you get stronger in 30 days and then you stop your program. Your program is what got you there. And so you're going to have to consistently and constantly kind of put that thing on repeat.
Well said. All right, Zombie Blood, dude, thank you so much for that banger ass of a question, that first one.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Yeah, dude.
One more thing I wanted to add is that in terms of humility, I think, me trying to do new shit is definitely something that keeps me humble. Me trying to stretch and run and like doing all these different things. I know that I'm going to get into jiu-jitsu more. I've just had a couple stupid injuries that are annoying that I hate to have any excuses towards anything, but it would just be very difficult it wouldn't be smart for me to mess around with that at the moment. So as soon as some of these little side injuries heal up, that is going to be something else that I'm going to do. But how humbling is it to think that you're tough? You know, I think of myself as having good mental capacity. Like I've worked on it a lot. I know that there's been improvement there. But how tough am I if I don't have a skill set towards something? How tough am I if somebody's got their knee in my chest and I don't have the answers? It's like all of a sudden, whatever like mental toughness you thought you had, you still might have some. You still might be able to say, okay, that's not crazy painful. I don't need to like tap out quite yet. However, you're in a bad position. And after a while, that's going to really suck. I've had people tap me out that are way smaller than me, that don't look like much of anything. And they would tap me out with stuff where Nsima or other guys would be like, you don't ever tap to that. But it's because I'm new. I'm not used to some of these things. So I like to really explore the mental toughness thing from many, many different sides. And I would love to continue to learn and just to try to be a white belt and just pretend that I don't know shit and I got to get more skill sets.
Sick. All right, dude. Thanks a lot. Don't play too much Rocket League though, okay, man?
Okay, yeah, I'll try. I gotta get to work, so thank
All
y'all
right,
so
dude.
much.
Catch you later.
Peace
See you
out.
later.
All right, so we're gonna go to Bert 1123 next, JP 503 you're after, and then Bruce you're I think it's called In the Hole. Yeah.
Oh yeah. In the
Yeah,
hole.
right, In the Hole.
I remember that from track. They would say that so and so's in the hole. Or
Oh, it's from baseball. So JP 503 is on deck. Bruce is in the hole. That's how that works.
What hole?
I don't know where it came from.
In the hole.
I don't know how she got
Did they say
herself
that for
up in here.
softball players too?
Oh, did you do that, Owen? Okay, my bad.
They might.
All right. Oh, wait, is Bert a female? I'm not sure here.
Wait, who's talking?
You are now.
Oh, okay.
It's a philosophical question.
I know you're a dad too, and I want to know, like, how do you make, like, when you're cooking for yourself? Do you cook like a healthy meal for just yourself or your whole family?
What you got on that, Andrew?
Yeah, dude. So for me, time is money. So I definitely cook for my whole family. It does two things. It does save a lot of time. And the other thing, and the most important thing is it makes sure that my whole family is going to eat something awesome. So like, I'm not going to go home and cook myself a Piedmontese steak and then give my daughter a frozen pizza. You know, like she would
Here's
be
some Cheerios.
Yeah. To be fair, she'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds good. But like, you know, in my heart and soul, I'd be like, this is so wrong. And then, you know, my son, he's 1 year old. He would be pissed if I gave him pizza. Like he wants steak. So yeah, no, for myself. And then I guess when I'm cutting or like something, you know, like that, I will technically still do the same thing, but I'll like probably weigh my food out. And then obviously I wouldn't weigh their food out. But that's how I handle it. I don't know how about you, Mark?
Sorry, yeah.
I normally just try to cook quite a bit of food at a time, because if someone else in the house isn't going to eat it, I'll get to it at some other point. Have multiple servings of it. Sometimes it's kind of funny because I'm cooking, and I'll be like, Jake, you want some steak? And I'm just like, I'm hoping desperately that he says no, so that I can eat all of it.
Oh yeah.
I hope he's like, I'm already taken care of. I'm already good to go.
You're done growing.
Yeah.
No, well, like when you're tracking macros and you're just like, okay, I just have just enough to finish my day. And then it's like, okay, yeah, sure, babe, you can have some.
Yeah.
So you just have to prep for that anyways.
Yeah. So I usually just try to prepare, more food than I think I can handle, which I do all the time kind of anyway. So it just saves time, makes things a little bit easier and more convenient.
My lady likes bavettes, which is unfortunate for me because they're like the favorite. I like ribeyes the most.
You found an expensive woman.
Yeah. But she doesn't fuck with ribeyes because she doesn't eat super high fat. So like, I'm lucky that my woman likes meat.
Are you like, hey, try to cook something else up for her or something? Like,
yeah. Nah, but like she has the same diet pretty much. So.
Start getting the flank steaks then.
Yeah. I'm gonna start.
I can picture Nsima coming home and he's like all excited, like eat a bavette, and there's none left.
He's like, wait.
Yeah.
So good.
The cool thing about the way we all eat is that you don't have to be a super chef. Like it's not like your family needs you to make some tortelloni. I don't even know if that's a real food. It just sounds Italian.
That sounds great.
And
Really
ricotta.
good.
I don't know what the hell that is, but
Too many carbs.
we just
in
cook
that, though.
meat.
Yeah,
So-
keep it simple.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
I appreciate it, guys. I listen to y'all every night, and y'all have a great day.
All right,
too,
you too,
homie.
man. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep moving. JP503, invite sent. How does this work? Hold on. There we go. Thanks, Owen. Owen's
me.
got my back. JP, what's up, dude?
Yo, just want to say, love the message that you guys are getting out there all the time, helping a lot of people out. Yeah, you guys actually got me back into running, because before COVID, I was
Nice.
around about an 8-minute mile in running. And then I, got back my gym routine since 2022, and now I'm back into running. You guys kind of cleared my head when I'm doing it. Do a great job of giving a good message. So I just want to say thank you. And I got a couple questions. One, I'm not sure if you guys can answer it, but I do warehouse work. So not only am I on my feet all day, but I'm lifting a lot of things. And there's never really like a accurate way to count the calories and what I'm doing. And I was wondering, like, if you guys knew what kind of calories you should be burning off in an hour, like per hour, doing something like that. And also, I wanted to ask about how long after you intake carbs are you actually burning them?
My man, you're thinking about some really awesome stuff. So number one, I don't think we have a lot of concern on our end about like what activities are burning like X amount of calories. However, I do understand your concern and what you're trying to look at. What I would say is that, and this has been advice I've been giving for quite a long time. Some people are like, I'm really active. I'm not sure how I'm, still gaining weight and this and that. Your activity level that you currently have is your normal activity level. And your body's very used to that. And your body gets efficient at that. And so we can kind of have some thoughts behind your body gets efficient at these movements. And therefore, your body, it does burn calories doing it, but it's burning less calories than if it was day one. So if me and Nsima and Andrew came with you to the warehouse and we got done with an 8-hour shift, we were like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It would kind of wipe us out. Whereas you would be like, these guys are pussies. I can't believe they don't want to work out now. So the amount of calories that you're burning is probably, your body's got efficient at it. Our warehouse manager here, Casey, who's an actual beast, he does some boxing and stuff like that. He actually will wear a 20-pound weight vest while he's doing a lot of stuff.
Seriously?
Yeah, he'll wear a
Holy
weight vest. 20 pounds is pretty aggressive, but Casey's he's a beast, like I said. So if that's something that you want to try to like look into to try to burn more calories at work, if you're allowed to do something like that, throwing on maybe an extra 10 pounds or something like that might not be a bad idea, or just trying to get out for a walk periodically. But again, I don't think the main concern should be necessarily around your energy output during work. I would just say that if you're looking to lose body fat, you just have to figure out a way to move more than you currently do, maybe doing something different, like walking, maybe some running, maybe some lifting, any of those kinds of things. And then in terms of the carbohydrates, I do not have information on how long that takes. So that is something I could look into, but that is really a fascinating thing. Sometimes with liquid carbohydrates, they'll hit your body a lot faster. So if you're trying to think of like, I'd like a nice little kick or a little energy burst, something like Gatorade or any of the carbohydrate powders that are out there, dextrose and cyclic dextrins and all that kind of stuff, could potentially assist you during a workout or during some hard activities or something like that, and could potentially help you recover from a workout because it can you can restore your glycogen stores or whatever, like after a training session or something like that. So
Yeah.
those are all things you might want to look into.
And fibrous carbohydrates would be facilitated a little bit slower. But, it's good that you're thinking about this. I'm curious as to why. And I'm not asking why because I think it's like it's not important to think about that. But I personally never really think about that. The big concept I think about is just keep moving, stay on the feet.
What's the goal?
What's the goal, right? Because, you're in the warehouse and then you're going to be probably doing exercise, etc. If you're trying to, change your body more so, I think instead of like figuring out how many calories you burn doing what, you just do a little bit more, do new things. Marcus mentioned certain things, like when we're doing certain things in the gym that we haven't done before, like the knees over toes movements, when we started doing that, it felt really tiring initially because none of our bodies were used to doing any of those movements. We'd be sweating, we'd be drenched after like 20 minutes or 30 minutes of doing those types of movements. But after we do it for a while, we became more efficient, we burn less calories. So it doesn't mean we're not going to be doing that, but we still do add new things to create more challenge to what we're doing in the gym, not primarily because we're trying to seek extra caloric burn, but that does happen when you do different types of movements that you haven't done in the past.
Yeah.
What's your goal?
Yeah, but I also I don't want to make excuses for him because obviously he's a savage working in a warehouse on his feet for over 8 hours a day, then lifting. What else can he do other than go for a walk? Because he's already walking his ass off.
Yeah.
Is there something like, whether it be like the WEC fucking shit, like what can he do?
I got stuff for him for sure. Get your foot up onto something, whether it be a chair or a box or something, and just have your foot elevated quite a bit to where your knee is above your hip crease, and just kind of move around in some of those different positions. If you look at Kelly Starrett's book, Becoming a Supple Leopard, he's got a lot of great examples of that. You could bring a hip circle potentially to work and utilize that for just a few minutes on a break, just to kind of activate the hips and wake your body up a bit. But what I've found to be really important during runs and walks, I think runners have this tendency to like, I got to run the whole thing. Like that, I'm all in, I'm running this entire route. And they don't ever stop to think like, I wonder what it'd be like if I actually just did something a little different in the and had it be part of the workout. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'm not concerned about like making some sort of sweet time, on the particular runs. I'll just say, hey, you know what? I need to like bend down. I need to like bend over because I don't have any hip hinging during this movement. I'm stuck like this for 45 minutes, just trucking along, same movement. So I'll run sideways, I'll run backwards, I'll do all these different things. So when you're in your warehouse and when you're doing some of this work, just pick your own, make up your own stuff to do. Maybe you do like an ATG split squat. Maybe you do almost like a version of a slant board squat. Just get up on your toes. You don't need an actual slant board, and say, hey, can I just do a couple of squats? You probably won't feel like it. Your back will probably be tight. Your body will probably be tight. But once you do more than like 2 reps, you'll be like, oh, that actually feels really good. Some toe touches, maybe, get the legs a little wider and reach towards the ground. Any of that kind of stuff. Stretch the groin out a little bit.
Isometrics.
Isometrics would be fantastic. Get into a lunge position, hold that thing for 10 seconds, and then switch. You will feel fucking amazing. Like this will be transformative for you. And I wouldn't be surprised if you would even notice some body composition changes from it if you are obviously paying attention to your diet as well. But I think these little things are going to help burn more calories and help you to feel better.
Yeah. But I'm really curious about like your specific goal. And I think the cool thing is like, if we didn't get enough specifics about your question, dude, go into the Discord of the Ask PP in the Discord and we can have a conversation there and go back and forth at length. So we'll help you out.
Okay, thank you guys. Hey, okay, I had one more question that actually might be beneficial for a lot of people.
Go for it.
But so I'm like coming down in weight, so I'm just over 200. And I was benching 225 about like I did like a set of 14, then 2 sets of 13, and I was working my way up to that. Well, the last time I went, I've been doing the intermittent fasting and everything. I've actually was only able to rep out like 3 sets of 10 when I was like comfortable doing sets of 12 before that for over a month. And so I don't know if I need to get under the bar a little bit more. And I'm doing a lot of squats too in full range of motion, like Ben Patrick has shown. And been kind of following you guys that way as well. But I'm losing my bench. My ultimate goal is 180, doing the 225 reps of 15.
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah.
Congratulations. You're doing amazing. You know, I think something Nsima also said on the podcast, and you don't necessarily need to have a mushroom trip to understand this. You're already doing all the things, you know, and you should be grateful and thankful that a lot of the things are already going on for you. And the fact that you're conscious of all this is really incredible. You just made the exercises harder for yourself. That's all that's happening. You've lost some weight. You lost some body weight. It wouldn't be any different if we put fat grips on the bar and we said, hey, go up and deadlift that. That's just going to make it a little more challenging. You know, you change the exercise a bit by changing your body weight. It's new for you. So your body is going to take some time to adjust. The other thing that happens too is I've had a lot of people ask questions over the years in regards to me losing 100 pounds. They're like, man, like, how do you like get through your workouts and stuff? And I can say that I have very, very rarely redlined myself so hard with a deficit of calories to where any of the workouts were difficult. I have had times where some workouts I would feel a little dizzy and stuff like that, but that was more electrolyte balance, and that was more like just getting in enough water and getting in enough salt and stuff like that. So that is something you might want to look at, is making sure you have enough water, make sure you have enough salt in your system. Those things are massively important. But on the other side of it, like, intermittent fasting is awesome, but you want to pick off only small amounts of calories every day and not a tremendous amount of calories every day. So a decent caloric deficit would be like 250 to 500 calories. And then on days where you're like, man, I'd like to have a little bit more, you know, zip on this workout, don't be afraid, you know, a day or two before to eat a little bit more, get a little bit more energy in, maybe even after the workout as well. You don't have to go wild with that. Maybe just go more maintenance on those days, or just eat a little bit more. And you might find that will have a lot of utility, but just be careful that you're not pulling those calories down so much to where you're having crap workouts. Last thing is, you're going to improve because it's just going to take you time. You made the exercise harder, and over a period of time, you're going to get stronger, even though you're losing weight.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all you guys do. And yeah, I actually just got your slingshot yesterday and the electrolytes along with the steak shake. So I'm gonna see if that can help me improve on my bench too. So just got it shipped in yesterday. Gonna try to crush a workout tonight. So thank you guys.
If it doesn't help, call us back and tell me that I suck. But it should help for sure.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot, dude. Appreciate you. Alrighty, so we're gonna go to Bruce next. Flip, you're on deck. Moose 9999 is in the hole, and then also like something from you, Mark, in regards to that bench. It's all made up, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we make these things up. So that's just, you know, wanted to point that out. Bruce, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, thanks for taking the call.
Oh, you sound great.
Yeah, want to do some voiceover work for us, sir?
What the fuck was that?
Hired. You're hired.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that'd be great. So, I was going to ask a question about lifting and soreness, but I think you hear that all the time. So I think I'm going to change it a little bit to more around like motivation and struggle, which I think a lot of people probably would benefit from that. I lost a ton of weight on carnivore. I've even done like podcasts with Dr. Baker because of my story, and I like fell off hard as a rock, and I mean like real hard. I mean, fell off like in the ditch. And so I've only been recently trying to get myself back out of the ditch. And so the question I have is just like, it would seem to me that eating carnivore is awesome because you can kind of eat whatever you want until you're full and still lose weight, at least for a time. But it doesn't really address the issue of someone that's overeating. And if they get back and fall off the wagon, their calorie count is huge. And so they're eating like a savage, like me. And you're kind of in this rut, you know, and so anyway, I just kind of wanted to get, you know, more of your direct advice on that situation, you know, just to, you know, help me out a little bit, I guess.
Sorry, can I ask you something? Did you gain weight back? Like you said, you lost a lot of weight.
A shit ton. Yeah.
Can you just give us some numbers so we know what kind of like your...
Yeah, sure. I mean, I started out at 330, 340.
Mm-hmm.
I got all the way down to 230.
Congratulations.
and then I'm back up to 380 right now.
Okay.
And so over the course of 2.5 years, I guess, maybe almost 3, about 2.5 years. So yeah, I mean, it was just, I wasn't really lifting very much during the time I was cutting and carnivore, getting smaller. I started lifting again now, but it's just sort of this like yo-yo situation, right?
What made you fall off, if I can
right.
ask? What happened?
Man, it's multivariate. I moved across the country. I have 4 children now. I work a lot. I work like 60 hours a week as a software developer. I think life, stress, all the above really contributed. And when you're, kind of looking for a way to get control of something that you think you don't have control of, you turn to something that's easy, which is like eating, right? And so it's really a mental health question in some ways, but I know there's practical solutions that maybe you guys could lend more light and advice to. And hopefully this helps some of the other people that have fallen off the wagon hard like I have.
I want to ask you something else. 4 kids, software developer, working 60 hours a week. I'm guessing you might be sitting down working. The type of food that you would be eating and turning to when stress hit you or when you fell off, I'm guessing it wasn't just meat, right?
Exactly. I mean, it was just like, let the devil in a little, and then it became like an scapegoat sort of thing. I was loving carnivore. I was a huge advocate for it, and something happened. I honestly, I can't even remember when it happened, but I somehow let in like a diet soda here and there. Right, I was pretty religious about it, strict. I was Shiite carnivore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I let something in here and there, a diet soda, and then I'll have a piece of cake. And then it just. I just started having more and more exceptions, and then the exceptions became the rule, and it got out of control.
Okay, so I'm sorry that I'm asking you so many questions, but I'm just trying to understand. Plus, that Shiite joke was really good, deep cut there. That was good. That was really fucking good.
I've never heard that before in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, diet soda here and there, but what else? Like food wise, what would be the foods or processed foods potentially that you would end up binging on?
Oh man, I mean, I would sit and eat 2 dozen donuts in a sitting.
Okay.
Amen.
Shit like that.
Oh, sorry.
Like, you know what I mean? Like anything cake related, really.
Oh yeah.
Like, in that vein, you know what I mean?
Good.
I could probably enter some sort of competitive eating contest around donuts. It's a real problem. And it's gotten better. And I just have to face it, and I did. But I was hiding it from my wife, all sorts of terrible stuff, man. I mean, really, I don't want to get into my entire life story and take over the podcast. But,
I understand.
Yeah, so that's kind of, but now we're all aware of it. She's aware of the struggle. I'm aware of the struggle. I'm like, that's why I'm here, right? Like, I'm really trying to get my life back in order.
Well, okay. So I'm happy that we got a little bit more understanding of your situation because, like, number one, you've done it before. So you've done it once. You got there, you got to 230, things happened, and you did things that you knew wasn't the best idea. So you knew you shouldn't be, the donuts wouldn't be serving you well. You were very, very strict. And the one issue when people talk about failing diets, and we've talked about this on recent episodes, is that there's a sustainability aspect to dieting where you can do it for a while, but if it ends up being something that you can't do and maintain that level of rigor or that I guess strictness, you probably should, you need to back off a little bit. And I guess you did. You let in diet sodas, you started letting in more other foods here and there, but that's the thing. It's like you want to be strict, but you also want to allow yourself things within reason. The thing is like it became unreasonable for you. And I don't know what other factors happened that like, you gained a few pounds, then you gained 10 and then 20, and like I'm curious what else happened that it just kept going, because you know how to drop the body fat, you know what foods you should eat, but there are obviously, I guess, ways that maybe, when a stress happens or when you might be feeling a certain way, and I'm saying this because I've done this before, you turn to certain foods, right? So the thing is like, what to do, and it's not like you've never done it before. So the thing is like, I'm confident that you can do it again, but you just got to make sure, number one, you got to be kind of strict with yourself. But then when you do, because there will come a point where you might not be as strict as far as carnivore is concerned. All of us here let things in within reason. Like, I eat processed foods here and there because I know how to handle them in a healthy manner. But there was a certain phase where I did go pretty hard in terms of fasting, and I did go pretty hard in terms of my diet restriction because I had to get the habit out of myself to turn towards these foods, turn towards Ben and Jerry's, turn towards certain types of processed foods when stress happens. Now I have a level of control over it. And you've been there, but the only thing is you just got to do it again.
How do you think you can gain control back? Like, what do you think personally is going to assist you to start bringing that weight down?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say consistent accountability in some way, and then also like, I guess, honestly, it's difficult. You know, that's the question I've been trying to answer. You know, that's hard to answer.
Yeah, it is. It is difficult to answer, and I think it's a hard place to get to when you're behind already. When you're ahead, when you're in shape, it's easier to say like the best way to follow a diet is not to have one. But when you're heavy and it's something that you got to work on and you have really hard time controlling the overall amount of food that you eat, it does become something where you kind of scratch your head to. But I do think like a lot of protein leveraging, intermittent fasting is like maybe not the greatest place to start.
Yeah.
The next couple of weeks and maybe month or two, it would be good for you just to get familiar with very healthy foods. And maybe you can put up points on a scoreboard and encourage yourself by getting in a good day of exercise where maybe you walked for the day and maybe there was some sort of body weight exercise you did for the day or a trip to the gym. In addition to that, maybe you ate a bunch of natural foods. Maybe peanut butter is not a natural food. I mean, I guess it is, but you gotta be careful with it, right? You want to try to eat as many different things as you can within reason, that are things that are not going to encourage overeating. So if you can make yourself some burgers and just put some salt on them, that is wonderful. But if you make a burger and you throw some cheese on there and you have a bun, then that gets you in a position of being able to overeat calories really easy. So as many different things as you can think of and drum up. Normally, if we talk about single ingredient foods, that's kind of the ticket, but that's also unreasonable to only have to just eat a burger is like kind of unreasonable. To at least have salt on it sounds more reasonable.
Yes.
To have a slice of cheese on it sounds more reasonable. What are the things that you like? What are the things that you enjoy? You want to put those things on repeat a lot. We all have different taste buds. We all have different backgrounds. I love like an omelet. I'll make up an omelet sometimes at night when I have cravings, and a lot of people have found this to be really useful. I'll put like sausage in there and cheese, sometimes bacon. I found that if I go real deep on the higher fat, and so what, I overate for the day. Big deal. But I stuck to part of the diet. I stuck to the overall plan, which is just, for me in this particular case, is to not eat carbs. The next day I'll be able to address keeping the calories more moderate, and or the day after, and so forth. So think for yourself on what are some things that can really be encouraging. Nowadays, there's so many convenient foods too. There's carnivore crisps. There are the Pork and Good pork rinds, and they make like dill pickles, salt and vinegar, cheddar cheese. There's many, many different flavors of those things. If you get creative in the kitchen, which you don't have to really be like a big time cook or chef, but like I love buffalo wings. So like I try to turn everything into like buffalo wings, whatever way I can.
Yeah.
My wife will sometimes throw some chicken thighs in the oven, and we just, when that comes out of the oven, we throw it in a pot with some butter and some red hot sauce, and bam, you're having a party. Like you just turned chicken, which I think is not that great.
It's a weak bird.
It's a weak bird.
I agree.
You just turned it into something. You just turned it into something pretty damn good. So it sounds to me like you had some success with not eating a lot of carbohydrates. But maybe there's a day in there.
I feel the best that way too.
Yeah, maybe there's
Whenever
a day.
I eat carbohydrates, workouts suck, to be honest.
Right. And maybe there's a day in there where you allow yourself to have carbs, but maybe your interpretation of what carbs are is slightly different. Maybe you're like, hey, if I go eat a pizza, this is going to cause a massive downward spiral. but it's really reasonable for me to go to the store, buy some oranges, get some apples, get some bananas, some blueberries, and throw everything into a giant bowl and have a fruit salad. That's going to feel like a party to you after having 4 or 5 days of mainly eating like salt, fat, and protein. That's going to feel really good to you. And your body's going to probably welcome it. Your digestive system will probably be okay with it. So there's many options. I think the best thing that you can do is just get started. Like, don't start tomorrow, start now, and start looking at food labels again and start paying attention. Sounds like you already have a lot of the information. Follow our homie, Russell Buddy. Russell Buddy is on that train to lose a lot of weight, coming down from 505 pounds. He's already lost over 50 pounds and recently did a 4-mile walk with me. So find people, try to turn if you're on social media, try to turn all that towards this new goal and this new effort.
I have one question too. You have 4 kids in your family. So are they like, Andrew's family eats like he does. Mark's family kind of eats like he does. But does your family, like when you're changing your structure, is there still things in your vicinity that are in your house that you would binge on if you made this change? Like, do you keep cereal in the house? Do you keep donuts in the house?
It's sparingly, but yeah, there's definitely that issue. I mean, the thing that always gets to me is I had 2 children when I lost the weight before, and that stuff was in the house. So I somehow had the willpower before, right? And now it's become more difficult.
You also know it's shitty for them though too, right? Like then that's something to be conscious of. It doesn't mean that you strip away your kids having opportunities to have delicious food with their friends and things like that. But it is a good thing to be conscious of. Like, this is shit food for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. It is, and largely it's largely true. We were totally gluten free because the kids have terrible skin issues from it. So we've been that way forever. My wife is actually extremely fit. So it's kind of a interesting. We're over here like Doug and Carrie from King of Queens. You know what I mean? And so, she's on the calorie restricted, no grains, and no dairy. Super, she does like 2-hour workouts a day in the mornings. So it's like, I'm over here burning the midnight oil, winning the cash, and making our family super prosperous. But at the same time, like, I'm slowly killing myself while not getting my shit together.
You have any time to yourself? Do you have any time to yourself?
I mean, I try to, but it's difficult.
So in this case, your life is on the line. And I think this is a thing to really aggressively go after, more so than anything else, more so than the diet, more so than anything else we're talking about. You have to really prioritize yourself, and it doesn't feel right as a dad to do that. But think about, where in the course of a day, is there a break, or is there something somewhere? Can you, is it possible? Is it reasonable to wake up earlier on occasion? Saturday, Sunday, if you don't work those days, is it reasonable to be up at 7? I have children as well, and I know they're not really doing much until like 9 or 10 o'clock. If they're really young, they might be up at 6. Those little bastards. But you get my point. Try to find time. I know some dads, they do a lot of work late at night. It could be 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and a lot of the kids will go to bed. And that's when the parent will be like, okay, now I get to finally, I know Jason Kalipa did that for many years. He would do a lot of his work from like 10 to like 1. And, he's kind of a madman because he'd probably be up at like 7 anyway. But you gotta carve out, you really do. You have to. Like, I'm not a person, I don't like to use absolutes, and I don't like to be overly aggressive with anybody on anything, really. But I'm going to be overly aggressive with you on this point. You have to find time. You have to spend time with yourself. You have to get out on a walk. You have to, I think these are really important because this is going to be able to, for you to be able to reflect and to think about, because anyone that's heavy, anyone that starts to get to be like over 300 pounds, most often, I should say everybody, most often there's some sort of trauma there. There's something in your childhood, or something happened somewhere along the line where you ended up having some thoughts around food and how you interpret that food, and it's irrational. I mean, it's the most respectful way possible. It's an irrational thought process to consider that your body would need 2 boxes of donuts. Like, we get it. We love that food too.
Yeah.
But it's irrational to lock yourself into that situation and to have lost so much weight, made so much progress, and gain it all back. So we know that that's the bad side of it, but we never kick a downed opponent. It's good to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I fucking suck. I sucked at that. But then that's the end of it. And then you say, I'm going to address it. So you can make fun of yourself. You can beat yourself up a tiny bit, but don't kick yourself when you're down. Start to throw yourself a lifeline. And I think the easiest way for you to do it at the moment is for you to spend some time with yourself and go out on a walk. You could have headphones or whatever you wish, because you can listen to podcasts and your mind's going to drift and you're not even going to hear the words of the podcast. You're going to start to think of your own stuff and you'll be like, fuck, man, I think that's why I eat like that. I think that's why that happens to me. So once you get to the root cause, the diet and stuff will be a lot easier.
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, sincerely appreciate you being so open with us and explaining, the weight loss and then the weight gain and admitting that you're struggling right now. That's so fucking huge. I can't thank you enough for coming on the Discord and asking us those questions, man.
There's also an accountability channel on it. So, I mean, I would say take advantage of it because like the community is pretty fucking dope there. And we'll chime in every now and then too. So if you need accountability, well, shit, there's a community right here that can help keep you accountable. And we will do our best also. So I'd say take advantage of that if you'd like.
DM my brother as well, bigstrongfast on Instagram. He's actually helping out a bunch of guys here that have some weight issues that they're trying to address. I think he's got like 4 or 5 guys. And so maybe you can be part of that group from a distance.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Do you have a good one?
Yeah.
Power Project family, how's it going? I want to talk to you guys about Within You supplements, which is developed by Mark Bell. The cool thing about Within You is that it's not a crazy supplement line which has a crazy amount of unnecessary supplements. They stick to what is necessary. Whey protein, electrolytes, and the electrolytes are dope because they have amino acids and they have zinc. Then there's fasting gum. So we talk a lot about intermittent fasting on the podcast, and this fasting gum has apigenin, rutin, and caffeine, which can actually help you prolong a fast. It's really freaking cool. It was developed by Mark and Joel Green, who we've had on the podcast multiple times. So you guys got to check it out. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
And before we go to the next guy, will be Phil Flip 14. For him, I'll say, because you had even said like change your social media, like your inputs, what's coming in. So social media and like YouTube fitness will instantly go to move more, eat less, and you're going to drop the weight. Calories in, calories out. If you still need voluminous food, make this like, I love Greg Doucette. I bought his cookbook. Like, I love making this food, but that's what he screams at people, right? Just buy my freaking cookbook. Make these meals, which I personally, I do find fault in it, but I also see like, yeah, it could work, right? Like
it would definitely help someone who's very heavy for sure.
But you told me like off air once, like you kind of need to make that turn. So for someone like Bruce, why wouldn't something like this work?
It's just as allowing too many people in the door, for him in particular moments, he needs to, for him to be strong right now, it sounds like he needs to either be black or white. Like he can't sit in the middle. He can't be gray at the moment. When he gets momentum, he can fuck around in that gray area a bunch. And he can say, I'm going to have a pizza. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But something's off where he's in an emotional state, and you don't want to make goals and you don't want to have hard decisions in emotional states. So take some of the emotion out of it. And just try to, you got to kind of make things bland just for a little bit until you reestablish those habits. But again, if he goes too hard again on it, then he might end up back in the yo-yo state. I mean, the body wants to be as big as it gets pretty much. And for some reason, even though that's very unhealthy, the body like knows, you go from being, 300 plus pounds down to around, I think he said, what did he get down to around?
He went, yeah, he went
330 to 230 to 380.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When you go, so your body remembers, you know, I think Nsima's been as heavy as what, 270?
275.
And how fast could you weigh 275?
Pretty quick in a few months.
Yeah.
Prove it. Just
Hell
fucking
no,
with you.
not again, brother.
It's crazy. It's nuts, right?
Yeah.
330. I mean, I could leave for until September or October and come back and weigh over 300 pounds.
Shit.
Most likely. I mean, I don't know for sure, but like your body remembers, it remembers that shit.
Yeah. All right. Let's let Phil flip in here. Yeah, that would be scary though. I hope you guys don't gain weight like that.
We're going to.
Nah, your minds wouldn't let you. But yeah,
That's true.
we'll try to breeze through a couple more questions so that way we can get people on with their day. Phil, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, yeah, I actually I got introduced to Mark through the slingshot a few years back, and then watched Bigger, Stronger, Faster. Actually, Mark, I saw you one time at Saying Strength, and I was so intimidated. And now, after watching listening to your podcast and stuff, it's funny. You seem so much more approachable.
Oh yeah, you got to come say hello. Maybe I had a resting bitch face going on.
You had chains on doing lunges.
That's awesome.
I was screaming.
Man. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I had two quick little shorter questions, but one of them was I'm running and lifting, and I'm transitioning towards lifting more now again. But when I was in the middle of doing it, even now I still have a lot of volatility in my lifts. I used to be able to predict like very, very easily what I was going to be able to put up that day. Like it really didn't change much week to week, and if it did, it was either going up because I was going to the gym consistently, or going down because I was taking a break for some reason. But when I started running more, it was pretty hard to predict. Like there were weeks where I'd go in and I hit like almost two times more reps of the same weight on the same exercise, and I couldn't really predict it. I know I have carbs most times before going to the gym, just like quick sugars before, like right before I lift. But so I felt like that was a consistent way to get energy, and aside from like, you know, depleting glucose or glycogen or whatever in your muscles from like running the day before or something. And I'd always lift for my runs. But I was wondering, when you transitioned to running and kept up lifting as well, did you see volatility like that? And then the other quick question was, you talked about grip strength and longevity a while back, and I was wondering what the data was between like correlation of like, yeah, people live longer and have stronger grip strength versus training grip strength because you will live longer, like the whole correlation versus causation argument.
I'll start with that first. I think these studies are stupid, and and because the reason why I say that is like, what are you going to study when you study an older group of people to figure out how, you know, I would say like, I could say the same thing would be true of like karate. Like if someone is 85 and they can throw fucking karate kicks, they're probably pretty vibrant.
Yeah.
But who am I going to test that on? Who could throw fucking karate kicks at 85? So the grip thing is an easy thing for them to test. And I think it does show you something. I mean, it tells you that it tells you that strength is never a weakness, which I've been saying for a long time. So all they needed to do is listen to me on the Power Project here, and they could have got that information a lot faster. It is an interesting thing, but I don't think that by training your grip you're going to like live longer. I don't think that's what the study means by any means. I think being vibrant and having something you have to realize about getting older. If somebody goes through like high school, they're 18 years old and they don't have a lot of excess body fat, and even if they don't train, even if they don't do anything, when they're 80, if they're similar to when they're 18 in terms of like their body weight and stuff, they'll be totally fine. Yeah, as much as we love training, we love to talk about it all day long. But if that person just doesn't regress a lot, they don't get hurt, they just stayed literally close to the same. And the reason why I say that is because their strength to weight ratio will be really good. Obviously, there'll be a massive decline because you went from 18 to 80 because testosterone levels, bone density, there's all these kind of things that can go down, and you can help prevent that by doing some exercise. But finding ways as you get older just to not go backwards, I found is like a nice way of looking at getting older, because you don't necessarily have to improve leaps and bounds. You don't have to be doing things 100 miles an hour. You just have to simply, another way to look at it is like, just don't get uglier.
I want to also add real quick to the grip strength thing. Physical culture in terms of working out in gyms is still a relatively new thing, right? So the individuals who train in the gym, who are gripping dumbbells, who are lifting weights, you're going to have versus the rest of the population, your grip strength is going to be much higher. I do think that we're going to see a lot of people that do exercise because they have a decent amount of muscle, because they are fairly strong. They're going to be more resilient into older age. So it's not just going to be grip strength, because I know people like to say, oh, smaller people live longer. Well, these centenarians grew up in a time when lifting wasn't a thing. Let's see what happens to guys like you, like us, who have been lifting was normal since we were young, right? I don't think we have, there are people that we can see that, but there aren't that many. So I think that the grip strength's cool, but there's going to be a lot of other factors that can lead to people living a long, vibrant life.
And on the other question, you were asking about like lifts, predicting lifts and stuff. And that can be really hard for somebody that is, I don't know if this is the case with yourself, but you said you were running. But for some people that are losing weight, that can be really challenging. And it's a real kick in the balls, because you're like, I'll probably be able to work with like 275 for the day. And then you're like, oh, I can barely work with 225 for the day.
Yeah.
But it's all kind of relevant. It's all relative, rather, to how you feel each day. And it's something I learned from Louis Simmons and from Westside Barbell, is like that your maxes are maxes for that particular day, in accordance to everything else going on in your life. You're not like a professional athlete or anything, so you don't have time to just only lift a lot of times. You are doing other things. In your case, you're adding in running. What I would suggest is just, this is understanding of like, it's going to take some time for you to bring the two things together. I believe Nsima has mentioned he's gotten weaker when he was doing jiu-jitsu and lifting, but then he figured out how often to go to jiu-jitsu and how to push his lifting. And then he was able to adjust, and then he was able to get better. I've had similar experiences with running, where I've had to adjust some weights and stuff, but like I just don't really lift the same way. So I haven't been trying to express maximal strength on that many different things, to where I would notice a major compromise. I'm actually noticing the opposite of that, because I'm doing things that are probably more related to running in the gym. I'm doing more body weight movements, more unilateral stuff, single leg, single arm stuff. And I'm doing things that are encouraging and promoting more movement. So an example, today I did some chest stuff, but rather than just like broing out and just hitting like chest, I was trying to do single arm presses, holding one dumbbell up extended while bringing the other dumbbell back. And I was really stretching, because I'm like, I already know how my chest is fine. Like I already have decent development there. That's not really what I'm looking for. I just want to get the shoulders and arms to move better. So I was just kind of like throwing these punches with the dumbbells basically, and trying to get more of a stretch. And then I did some like cable crossovers again, where I'm trying to get the shoulders to open up more and stuff like that. So if you're trying to get stronger and you're also running, you're going to have to just start to figure out how often you're going to be able to run, how often you're going to be able to lift. You might need to prioritize one over the other. It doesn't mean that you ditch the other one. It just means that you have a priority towards lifting, and you want to get your deadlift, your bench. You want those things to move. Then you might just have to say, hey, during this period of time, I'm going to run 2 days a week or 3 days a week, as opposed to maybe 5.
Let me ask you one quick question too. How long have you been picking up the running?
I picked it up about a year and a half ago, and now I'm finishing it. I have a 50 miler in 2 weeks.
So
once that's done, I'm planning on going to powerlifting.
Gotcha.
And
how long have you been like reintroducing lifting? Because I think you said you're reintroducing more lifting. So how long has that been?
3 months.
Huh. Okay. So this is this is the thing, man. Like you're going to get better at being able to predict the days that you can hit hard and the days that you need to back off by the way that you feel. You're still getting the hang of handling volume in the gym, handling different movements with your running volume. over time of doing more of it, you're going to get even better. Number one, of handling the fatigue that comes from lifting. Your body's going to adapt to that. But also you're going to know, you're going to be able to feel better. Like, this is a day that I'm not going to try to go for 80%, 90% of whatever I'm doing. Or on a certain day, you're like, okay, yeah, I can feel this is a day that I can go hit the gym, hit some volume, because there's going to be variability. It's not going to be super consistent. And this is some of the problems. If you make a training plan that's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do these percentages. If you're a dual athlete, that's going to vary based off of how much you've done doing something else. Like Monday of last week, you might have felt like a fucking rocket ship. And then Monday of the next week, you're like, fuck, I can't do shit today. That's okay. You save that for the other day of the week that you can hit it harder, because it's going to vary, but you'll get better at balancing that. It won't be just this structured plan where, like, as a lifter, when only doing lifting, you can handle that structure. You can track the fatigue that's happening. But when you're doing two different things at once, you're going to have to learn to be more intuitive with how you handle your weekly volume in the gym.
Cool.
And you'll learn that over time.
Hearing like Nick Bear and these people, I'm like, oh man, I got to try and do that. But yeah, it's good to hear you guys say it, because I feel like I expected you guys to be like, well, yeah, it just takes time and then we figure it out. But hearing you guys have like the issues, like, yeah, some days, even though you thought it'd be fine, last week it was fine, it's still this Monday for some reason just didn't work out. That's cool.
You can also think about some of the
super training gym this weekend.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Any chance you guys can be at super training gym this weekend?
I might be there on Sunday. Be here on Sunday.
I'm hiking on Saturday, but I might be here on Sunday.
I'm out of town.
Well, thanks again.
Yes, sir. Catch you later.
All right, thank you. Yeah, okay. So we got time for one more. So we're going to go to Moose 999, New Dog, OAMF, and Big Nick Hughes. I got your names written down, so the next time we do a Q&A, you guys get first dibs. And then real quick, in regards to like the grip strength thing, I'll just remember, so my grandmother died at 84. She had dementia. Her grip was a motherfucker. Cause like, she wanted to go home, but like she was home, and then she would want you to go, and like she'd grab you, and just like, whoa, dude, she's so strong. But then like we would build, so in my parents' house, it sucks, but like we had to put up like some certain gates because we had stairs.
Yeah.
So we had this gate set up, and it was really fucking high. Like so I was in high school, and I had a hard time getting over it myself.
Yeah.
Dude, she got over that shit like nothing. Old 84-year-old lady.
Was she a big mover when she was like? Did she walk quite a bit or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, she walked with like 6 kids from Mexico to here. So I'm not joking.
Yeah, I know.
Single mom did it all herself.
Long ass walk.
Yeah. So like that's what I mean. Like like the grip strength thing does seem kind of silly, and it's like here's my grandmother who's fucking could be because like she didn't understand that she couldn't do that because like she forgot. But as fucked up as that sounds, it's like, oh yeah, I can climb a 10-foot fence. Like what? So anyway, I don't know. I just want to throw that in there. All right, Moose. Let's see what you got. So inviting in the moose knuckle. The was that the big cousin of the camel toe?
I don't even know what the fuck a moose knuckle is. I just know it's something nasty. What's a moose knuckle?
It's like camel toe, but for dudes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just an extremely large camel toe, and that's why it was just like a moose knuckle. Moose knuckle.
It depends on what area you're in. If you're in Canada, it's all called a moose knuckle.
Got it. All right, so waiting on Moose 99. We're gonna have to start the shot clock if they don't show up.
We do have a guy in the gym. It's Jeff's, Stretchy Jeff's brother. I've lost his name for some reason, but 50 miles in one day and a 500-pound deadlift.
Holy shit! What is wrong with those kids?
It's a man.
He's a man. Fuck. He's an animal. Very mobile, very flexible, very strong.
50 miles. That's amazing. I'm wow.
Well, almost had him. And 3, 2. Oh, so close.
Just you gotta hit the button.
Yeah, come back, hit us up next time, I guess. And then we'll close out because I know him from Instagram. We're gonna go to Big Nick Hughes.
Big Nick.
Big Nick. Yeah, invite him in so that we can close up the show. But everybody listening, thank you guys so much. Whoever David Mick something is, looks jacked as fuck. I would like to talk to you next time. Jerm, Preston Weber, Bert, we talked to you already. Greenberg, I'm not going to list everybody, but we sincerely appreciate you guys coming on and listening in. Make sure you guys tell a friend, so that way you guys can take advantage of getting able to talk to us. Nick, what's going on, man?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Sweet. Man, thanks so much for giving us this opportunity just to chat. So I'm an identical twin, and me and my twin brother were up in Sacramento like 6 months ago, and super training wasn't letting anyone in. And Chris came out, let us in, and we got to meet Mark. It was such an epic day.
Nice.
Cool.
But love everything you guys do so much, and love the community aspect and like the tribe that you guys have created. And so my question isn't about fitness or nutrition. It's more about like the big question of how do you guys continue to cultivate and nurture such like meaningful community? And then the personal question on that is, my twin brother lives in Arizona. I live in Mississippi, and we're like dying to do life together. We just are our best when we're together. And we don't want to wait for like something really bad to happen for one of us to go, okay, like let's do life together now. So just, I know for Mark, he's got Chris close by, I think now too. And just like, I don't know, practical advice for two guys that want to do life together, but can't really figure out how to make it happen yet.
Us three want to do life together too, but society won't really let us.
So we're calling it life. That's
interracial
what we
relationships.
Okay.
Interracial threesomes still aren't a thing.
Yeah, this is very interracial.
Yeah.
All the Neapolitan, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, but seriously, what's up?
As far as the cultural stuff, I don't have any idea how it goes, honestly. I think, I just always loved lifting, and I always wanted to do something with it, and I found it to be fascinating. And I remember we had some people in our gym that were starting to lift some big weights, and people were like bleeding out of their nose, and like it was just like I was just like, man, this is super interesting. I think other people would be interested in this. This is weird. Like I was aware that even though I was submerged in the culture, I recognized that it was weird and different. So I'm like, I want to show this to people. And so I just started to record stuff. And then once I recorded stuff, it kind of got popular. And then I started to get around other lifters, other like-minded people. And when you get around people that are striving to be better, especially in like a particular thing, you learn good and bad habits from them. I saw a lot of lifters take so much of their health not so seriously, and then they ended up not being able to like remove themselves from powerlifting and still live a good, vibrant life. And so, even though I had the pedal to the floor as well with some of that stuff, I also thought about what things would be like later on, like what things would be like without powerlifting. And while I am a meathead, I identified with like wanting to be able to do other stuff afterwards. And so I think just kind of putting forward that was stuff that I really loved, that I really enjoyed. I think other people got around me and they were like, oh, that seems like an interesting way to like handle things, or that seems like an interesting way to act. Maybe I can mimic that. So like not only people seeing me on YouTube, people just seeing me like lift, they're like, oh, that's cool. The guy squatted 800, 900, so forth. I think they were attracted to some of that. But then people that actually came to my gym when I made the gym free, those people are willing to do just about anything for me because of that free information and because of, sharing so much time with them and sharing the equipment that I had with them and those kinds of things. And so that really built the community up. And then it was like, there were certain things that weren't really like negotiable, like when you're trying to get better, like we had exercises that they were just part of every workout, no matter what. And we didn't even really, we didn't like write them down or consider them to be hard or anything. It was just like on upper body day, you always did face pulls. On upper body day, you always would walk with the sled forward and backwards, and you would row the sled when we're at Midtown Strength and Conditioning. You would always do glute ham raises and reverse hypers before you ever started anything else on all lower body days. And it wasn't like you had to sign a paper or something that means you're going to do this, and no one had to do it. But the guys that deadlifted 800 and the guys that deadlifted 700 and the guys that did the big weights, they did all those things. So other people would come in and see that, and they were like, oh, this is the culture. This is kind of how you do it. Because I want to lift those same weights. Mm-hmm. And if somebody's like, hey, man, I'm stuck at 500, we just kind of say, remember those reverse hypers and glute ham raises that you didn't do again? Those kinds of things. And that kind of helped build some of the culture up from there. And then in terms of the business side of things, I think people seeing each other eat fairly healthy and have healthy practices has helped a lot. But there's still some people in the building that don't choose to go down that path just because they're not as interested. And there's room for that. We don't care. We just want everybody to be happy and everybody to feel good. So
yeah, and I just want to add to that. So like everybody listening right now, we might have like the exact same goal, or we're definitely going to have similar goals where we want to improve just in life overall, whether it be getting rich or getting jacked. But the one thing that we all definitely have in common is a common enemy. Like none of us want to get weaker. None of us want to get fatter. None of us want to get broker. We don't want to get broke. Mm-hmm. So having that common enemy has helped build this whole community. Like I'm pretty sure I can say that right for the entire audience. Nobody wants to be those three things. So we do our best to try to make sure that we can give you guys all the tools to not be those things. And then that helps build the community up.
Well said. I think we all agree that we know who the enemy is. It's ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's what this show is about.
And Mark, I mean, you've been sharing what you've been doing since like 2000 what? When did you start sharing videos? What year was it?
2006. Yeah.
All right. So like, if you're trying to build and foster community, well, it's a community around what? Like what is it that you're interested in that you think other people would be interested in? You need to start sharing that. You need to start putting that forward, because it'll start small, but people who are about that message will have input. We'll be able to add new things to what you do. We'll be able to share. We'll be able to help you expand. But in tandem, as you expand, you're going to be able to help them do the same thing. So share. Like that's the main thing. That's the reason why I love what we do here, because we're just learning shit. Mm-hmm. We bring in people that know more than us about things. We learn it, we apply it, we share it, and other people like it too, and other people learn. So we're just out here learning and doing new shit, and we're just trying to, that's the community. That's the great aspect about all you guys, is all you guys are also trying to do new shit and expand, and it's helping everybody.
And if you want to be around your brother, just go figure that out. That's what I did with my brother. He lived in California and I lived in New York. I was like, I'm going to figure out a way to come see you. Like we always were close, and I went and visited him. And when I visited him, I was like, I need to figure out a way to move here. It'd be easier for me to go through life with somebody, with somebody that can, who has your best interest at heart, other than someone that's like a family member. That's a really special thing. So I was like, I'm just going to figure out a way to move out here. And it wasn't easy. It was definitely had its challenges. But if you want to figure out a way for you and your brother to coexist and to like kind of work out together and do certain things together, then just go for it. Figure it out.
That's good. I think one of the biggest key takeaways too is just like that being willing to try new things, doing things, taking action daily, but then consistently sharing it is so huge. It's what I definitely see you guys do constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I guess in the meantime, having a twin brothers, it's pretty fucking cool. But like if you guys are into similar things before you guys
exact similar.
So then I don't know, man, you guys should start a fucking twins podcast so that way you guys can do it remotely in the meantime. And then when you guys finally link up in person, you guys were already like hit the ground running.
Yeah. We'll hit you guys with the tags when we do.
Let's
There you
go.
Yeah. All right, dude. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Awesome, dude. Have a good one. I think that's a show, guys.
That's a show.
That's a show. There we go. Okay, cool.
Did we do a good job?
I don't know. Did we win?
Yeah, I think we did.
That was pretty good.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, that was another great Discord episode. Guys, thanks for asking all those questions. We're going to be like, we're going to answer questions in the Discord and stuff, but we were talking about potentially making like this, like a segment for other episodes. So we may be doing more Q&As, but those Q&As might be at the beginning of specific podcasts. So just keep an eye out if you guys are in for when we'll be doing these so that you can ask your question on air and we can help. We can answer them to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, and they might be a little bit shorter, but you'll have more opportunities.
Yes.
And then we'll take notes at who was in line, and I'll try to make sure I get to you guys first, like I will with the next one.
Some great questions today.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Take us on out of here, Andrew.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. And again, thank you, everybody, on the Discord that listened live. If you guys want to, join that party that he's going to make. Oh, he missed. If you guys want to join that party, check the link down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. That way you guys don't miss another Q&A opportunity. Like Nsima said, we're going to be doing this a lot more. And please subscribe if you guys are not subscribed to YouTube already. And turn on those bell notifications and make sure you guys like today's video. Follow the podcast at MB Power Project on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I'm Andrew Z. And Nsima, where you at?
Y'all already know the Discord links in the description, so get there so you can join the community. And Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter, Mark.
I did at least 200 reps per foot of toe curls during the podcast.
Oh, I killed you on that because I've been doing that the whole time.
I
brother.
saw you flexing your calves. And then I was like, I started flexing my hamstrings. I'm like, I got to fucking do some work over here.
The faces that people are going to see me making as you're talking, because I was over here like, I'm just trying to keep it straight, but I look like I'm concerned.
You're just really
like,
into the words, man.
You're like, am I going to tear something?
Oh, God.
What is going on with my calf right now?
Oh, my God.
I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.